Good afternoon. This is Southern Belle 74, and this is the tragic case of Denisha Montgomery. This comes up under our Unsolved Missing and a Broken Justice System series. Let me give you some background on this story. 27-year-old U.S. soldier Denisha Montgomery died while stationed in Germany this summer. The Army initially said her death was a suicide, but Montgomery's family believes that she was murdered after trying to report being assaulted by military police. The Army has opened an investigation into Montgomery's death after the family released a recording that Denisha made describing the assault. Let me know how you feel about this story in the comments section. Do you think it was a suicide or an cover up of a sexual assault? You're going to see a series of videos. And in the series of videos, you'll actually see the recording that Denisha made to her family before her timeless death. Please continue to tune into Southern Belle 74 as I give you news that you can use.
We start tonight with a family demanding answers after their daughter, a military police officer, died while serving overseas. This is Denisha Montgomery, just 27 years old, her entire future ahead of her. A daughter, a wife, a mother, serving her country and working hard to support her kids back home. The Army calls Denisha's death a suicide, and they are investigating. But her family believes something far more sinister happened, and someone is not telling the truth. In a moment, I'm going to be talking with two close friends of the family live about this case and the ongoing investigation. But first, we turn to investigative correspondent Rich McHugh tonight with this exclusive report. Rich.
Thanks, Marnie. I've covered a lot of stories involving the military, many of them good, some of them bad. This is likely among the worst. And if not for the video that you're about to see, we might not even know about it at all.
27-year-old Denisha Montgomery pursued her dreams and joined the Army 2 years ago.
I gotta protect my mama and my sister.
She was determined to help provide for her 3 young boys. Assigned to the 139th Military Police Company at Fort Stewart this summer when she was stationed in Wiesbaden, Germany, her trust in the military abruptly changed.
Honey. This is all I wanted to do. Mom, this is all I wanted to do.
On July 19th, she made a frantic video call to her family and asked them to record it.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Jada. Hey, Mom.
I love you.
I just want to come home. Look what
Brooklyn.
they did to
Oh
me.
my God.
She had serious bruises, open wounds on her body.
What is that from?
I don't know.
That looks like a knife or something.
In this 12-minute video call with her family, she said she went with a group of military police from her unit off base to a water park, said they had been drinking, and on the car ride back, they assaulted her.
They choked me out. Look, they was doing it to me in the car. I kept telling them, I was like, I can't breathe. I was like, I can't breathe. I was gasping for air. I was like, bro, I ain't never been so scared in my life. I thought I was going to die in the car, bro.
That evening, while she was on the video call, her family called the Red Cross and reported what she had told them, that 4 military police officers assaulted and strangulated her.
So I was like, just let me out of the car. But they wouldn't let me out of the car. And then all this happened.
In and out of tears on the call, she vowed to report her assault the next day.
I'm going to talk to CID tomorrow.
And what, tell them that you just want to get out or what?
I'm telling them that I don't want to be here no more. I'll do whatever I have to do, Mom. I'm coming. I can't be here no more. I don't trust them. I don't trust my leadership. I don't want to be here with none of them no more.
In a text message to her uncle the next day, she wrote, "They told me if I report an assault, I'll be charged with assault too because I mushed the female and bit the male that was choking me." 21 days later, on August 9th, Denisha Montgomery was found dead in her barrack. That same day, the Army told Denisha Montgomery's family that she took her own life.
They said that we're sorry to inform you that your daughter has committed suicide by suffocation. And I said, how do you suffocate yourself?
I know that my daughter wouldn't kill herself.
No doubt in your mind.
No doubt in my mind. I know my kid, man.
The Army released a statement 5 days later confirming Denisha Montgomery was found unresponsive in her barrack and said, the incident is currently under investigation by U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Division.
But it doesn't make any sense. How are you still investigating when you prematurely said she committed suicide? That tells me that you've already have a determination.
Tamika Light is Denisha Montgomery's aunt. She served 13 years as an Army sergeant and was awarded the Purple Heart.
Something in the back of my mind told me that when she was attacked on the 19th of July, that there was something bigger at play. Something told me that her life was in danger.
None of Denisha's family believes she took her own life. Her husband, Joshua.
I know she didn't commit suicide.
No doubt in your mind.
No doubt in my mind.
Her sister, Jada.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either.
You think your sister was murdered?
I do. It's just by who and when.
And how many? And how many knew about it and how many covered it up?
I don't know what she knew, but it had to be too much. You know, like I said, my daughter told me she was scared. I've never heard my daughter say that ever in her life. Ever. She wasn't scared of anything.
She was set to come home in 3 weeks. Sent pictures of her bags packed and waiting.
I talked to her that night, and you're not going to tell me that she was anything but happy and ready to come home.
And this video to her husband dancing to their wedding song.
And that's all we talked about is what we're going to do when she got home. The very first thing she wanted to do was go to Walmart.
I can't make sense of it. It's a nightmare. Every day I wake up, it's a nightmare.
One giant piece of the puzzle, her sister says, comes from what the military told them about what happened 3 weeks prior at the water park, before the alleged assault in the car.
The CID told us on the phone that that night at the water park, 2 individuals that were not with her tried to sexually assault her in a restroom. But they stated clearly that the people that were with her, they tried to chase them down in a sort, and they were trying to help her.
No one has inquired with the family about the assault. We have taken it upon ourselves to get justice for Denisha. We have taken it upon ourselves to collect all evidence, to show that Denisha was not suicidal, to show that she was attacked and afraid for her life, and to show that she was ready to come back home.
We have asked the Army about the investigation and also about the alleged assault prior to her death. They declined our request for an interview, but said special agents with the Department of Army Criminal Investigation Division are investigating the death of Specialist Denisha Montgomery and would not comment further. Denisha was returned to her family on August 26th. En route to her burial, people in her hometown, Elizabethtown, Kentucky, lined the roads to salute her.
My daughter came home. They didn't give me no autopsy report, no cause of death. Where's all that? Where's all that at?
How dare you allow my niece's death to be in vain? How dare you prematurely tell us that this strong, beautiful individual took her life when we know better? We want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but. I am Denisha Montgomery Smith. That's her name, and I want everybody to say it. I am Denisha Montgomery Smith.
This family, no information from the military, no cause of death, no autopsy, a lot of evidence to suggest that foul play happened, and so many questions yet to be answered tonight, Marnie.
This is just the beginning, Rich. You and I both know this investigation will take a long time, but with the pressure from this family for answers, we're going to stay on this. Eye-opening and heartbreaking. Rich McHugh with this exclusive report tonight. Rich, thank you. I want to bring in Amy Frank now. She's the founder of Never Alone, and Lindsay Knapp, executive director of Combat Sexual Assault, both representing the family of Denisha Montgomery tonight. And I want to start, ladies, by thanking you and sending my condolences to the family of Denisha, and also begin with, we've reached out to the Army. Rich included their response. They are investigating, but beyond that, they are not saying anything. Lindsay, I want to start with you. You say the military was too quick to call this a suicide. Why?
Well, because what we have is we've got a service member who was afraid for her life and who was assaulted 21 days prior to her death. Now, they've told you that they're investigating, which is more information that they've given us. I have personally reached out to the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of the Army, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Milley. I've reached out to the special agent in charge of this case. I've reached out to CID headquarters. And I have reached out to the 16th Military Police Brigade Commander to get an update on this case. They have given us nothing. The only thing that they've given us is let the family know that this was a suicide. However, all evidence to the contrary. We have this video where she's reporting that she was assaulted by 4 other cops. So I've got a cop who's assaulted by 4 other cops who then reported it to the cops, and then the cops did nothing. So what we're calling for now is that the FBI immediately take this case over, because what the military has shown us is that they are unable, ill-equipped, or unwilling to take this case and give Denisha Montgomery Smith the justice that she deserves.
I want to take people back to July 19th. And Amy, let's bring you in here. Was the alleged assault that Denisha told her family about in that video, that 12-minute video on July 19th, investigated by the Army at that time? Who knew other than her family?
According to text messages from Denisha Montgomery Smith, she told her leadership. She told everybody. And the only thing that they did was remove one of the assailants from her actual room and put her as a suite mate. So one of the alleged assailants still had access to her. And then they threatened to charge her if she pursued the charges any further by saying that because she defended herself, that she would be charged as well. So to our knowledge, nobody was looking into what we would say would be an attempted murder on her life by strangulation.
What was happening in that window of time between July 19th and that video and Denisha's death, which is about 21 or so days? How much communication did she have with her family? We saw her bags were packed to come home.
She was just telling them that she was afraid and that she didn't want to speak anymore about anything because she was worried about what else was going to happen to her. And so she wanted to keep her head down and just get home where she'd be safe to tell what really happened.
Lindsay, it seems as though this video, 12 minutes long, would be a key part of the investigation. The family has that video. Have the investigators with the Army contacted the family about seeing this video, asked them about some of the things Denisha had said to them prior to her death?
So once we learned that the video existed, we immediately sent that to CID and the military to aid in the investigation, because obviously we want answers and the family wants to get to the bottom of this. And so despite that, they interviewed the spouse, Josh Smith, and after seeing that video, seeing the injuries, learning that she told him directly of the attack, the only questions they had for Josh were questions such as, what was her mental health state like the last time he spoke with her? Has she ever had any suicidal ideations? They didn't ask one question about the assault on July 19th, or if Denisha thought that anybody was after her or anything like that. So it became very, very clear that even after we were submitted all of the evidence that we had to them, that, where we believed that this was not a suicide at all, that the military was still leaning in hard to the suicide narrative and not investigating any other avenue.
What about the idea, Lindsay, and you heard Denisha's dad say this in the piece a moment ago, the autopsy. Where is it? What did it say? When was it done? Can we have it?
I would love to have it. I would love some kind of communication with the military at all. They've communicated to you more than they've communicated to us. We've reached out to congressional leaders for information, to Congresswoman Jackie Spears' office. They've provided her with more information than they have provided us. Bottom line is they treated Denisha Montgomery Smith's life as if it were forfeit. She is a Black woman, mother of 3. She comes from 3 generations of Black women who served our country. Not only did she serve our country, but she's also a cop. So this is what this looks like. This is blue on blue. This is everything. They have given us no indication that they care about her or her life. Thus, we need the FBI to take over this case immediately so that this investigation is not compromised any further.
I know both of you are deeply involved with this family, this case, but other cases in the past. I will give you the final word, Amy. You're with Never Alone. What is your message to other military families tonight? What is your message to the Army about this particular case? If you could have 1 minute with them to tell them what's on your heart tonight with Denisha's death, what would you say?
This woman deserves the truth. Her family deserves the truth, just like Tim Tebow's, or excuse me, just like the other families deserve the truth, and that this is a national security crisis, and we cannot continue to allow these families and these young men and women to be murdered and murdered by suicide. It has to end. We have to have transparency and accountability. We have not seen one general officer that has violated federal law be held accountable. From General White at Fort Hood with Vanessa Guillen, no accountability of a general officer violating federal laws, not protecting their service members. It has to stop. And the president has to create an accountable, transparent military where these general officers are held accountable.
We will continue to push for answers in this case, accountability, justice, the truth. To you both, Amy and Lindsay, thank you for your time tonight, and we will continue to reach out to the Army and offer you at home the latest on this investigation. Please send our best to the family of Denisha tonight.
Thank you. We will.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.